Hey everyone, Charlene here for Whimsy Stamps. Today we're going to be making a project and we're going to be using the Doggie Valentine Friends Clear Stamp Set along with the Speckles Cling Red Rubber Stamp. Now this is a background stamp, so you are going to want to take out the insert in your MISTI, and here I'm just inking up the stamp with some VersaMark embossing ink. So once I get that on the paper, I'm going to go ahead and take it out, and today I'm going to be using Perfect Pearls for my background. I'm using pink, and the name of that color is Gumball, and then I'm also using the Perfect Gold color. When I use Perfect Pearls, I like to do multiple colors like this, and I'm just coming in on a diagonal and I'm alternating between the pink and the gold. And once I get everything covered on my paper, I'm just coming in here with my sweep brush and I'm making sure to get all of the extra Perfect Pearls off of the paper. And then I'm just going to lightly spray it with a mist of water to set the Perfect Pearls. It's really very pretty. So I'm going to be using the Slimline ATC die, and I'm using that to cut out 2 frames to make my shaker card. I've used the largest size of the smaller rectangles that has stitching on it, and then I used the largest size of the smaller rectangles that's just a straight cut. And I used those to cut out 2 frames. So now I'm just going around with double-sided tape and I'm going all the way around the frame. And then I'm just going to remove the release paper and I'm going to use a small piece of acetate and I'm going to put that down on top of the frame. That's what's going to keep my shaker bits inside of the card. Now I'm going to come in with foam tape and I'm going to go all the way around and I'm going to remove 3 sides of the foam tape. I'm going to leave 1 piece of release paper on there because I need a spot in order to get my confetti mix in there. Now, a lot of people like to put the confetti mix down on their paper and then just cover it with the shaker. I find that doesn't work real well for me, mostly because I can never decide how much confetti mix I want to put in there. So I like the ability to add and sort of remove, but it also is a little bit of a pain when you're working with a smaller kind of rectangle like this. So whatever works well for you, this is what works well for me. You also can double up the foam tape so it's 2 layers, and that's going to allow you to have a little bit more movement of the shaker mix, whatever you're using inside of there. I'm using Cozy Winter, which is a new confetti mix from This Calls for Confetti. It's exclusively available over at Whimsy Stamps. A friend of mine that's also on the Whimsy Stamps video team, this is her mixes, and they're beautiful. I love them so much. I'm so glad that I get to be able to play with them. Coming in, now you can see there I added double-sided tape on the spot where it's going to layer over the other piece. That's what I'm doing right now. And then I added foam tape on the remaining parts so it can be level with that other rectangle. So these are going to overlap, which is kind of a really cool look. And there may be a better way to do this, but this is how I figured to do it, and I think it worked really well. So that double-sided tape is going to adhere to the sides of the other rectangle, where that foam tape again is going to make it as high. The height will be the same as the other rectangle. So again, I'm taking off the release paper and I'm just taking it off on 3 sides, and I'm going to leave 1 side where I can add in that confetti mix again. So once I have those off, the best way I found to do it is to kind of hold it on its side there so you can make sure that the foam tape is butted up against the other rectangle, because you don't want to have any gaps. Any little gaps is how the confetti is going to get out. So you want to make sure that you don't have that. So I went ahead and added what I thought was a good amount of the mix, and then I'm just removing the release paper and I'm going to put that down and make sure it's all adhered really well to that card panel. So off camera, I did color and then use my scan and cut to cut out a couple of images, And I think these are so cute, these little doggies and their ice cream soda. I think I'm probably going to give this card to my husband for Valentine's Day. I don't know. That's where my head's at right now. We'll see. But coming in, I've used a greeting from the stamp set, and it says, "Your love is better than ice cream." And I thought that was really sweet. So just using some Genie K Connect glue here to go ahead and adhere the first doggy. Now this stamp in particular, the two dogs are actually part of the same stamp, but I clipped them apart because I wasn't sure how they were going to work on the card with these shaker pieces. I didn't really need to, it turns out, but I'm going to pop up part of the little poodle where it is off of the shaker card with foam tape. And then I'm going to apply a little bit of glue on the top part where it's going to be sitting on top of the shaker piece. Hopefully that makes sense. It's kind of easier to understand when you're seeing it. That's why it's really nice to be able to have these video tutorials. I've learned so much watching other people's tutorials over the course of my card making. I just find it so helpful. So coming in, I'm just using my reverse tweezers so I can make sure I get a nice placement there before I fully commit and push it down. If you don't push down, I found that you can still kind of pull up the foam tape. So make sure you got it where you like it before you push things down. Off camera, I did cut out a piece of black cardstock, and I cut it so that there's about 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch on each side from the standard size A2 panel. So rather than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, I cut it to 4 1/8 by 5 and let's see, what would that be? 3/8, I believe. But anyway, just cut it so it looks nice. And then I'm going to put my panel on top of that, which I have cut down so that it too has about 1/16 of an inch all the way around. So you're just getting this really nice thin black border, and then in addition to that, you have a very thin white line all the way around the card as well. All right, guys, there is my finished card. I think it turned out really well. I hope you like it. I actually made several other backgrounds with the Speckles stamp. So if you're interested in seeing how I made those, you can head over to my YouTube channel, and that contact information is also down below in the description. I hope you guys will join me over in the Whimsy Stamps Facebook inspiration group. You also can follow Whimsy Stamps on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. Until next time, happy crafting.